Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We are featuring our nonprofit hero for the month of February 2021. So happy and pleased to have with us today the John Walt Foundation. We have Michelle Pugh here with us. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, Jen. Thank you so much for having us today.
It is a pleasure to have you. Absolutely a pleasure. So why don't you start off and just give us a little introduction for yourself and also the foundation.
Okay. My name's Michelle Pugh. I am the executive director of the John Walt Foundation and also the co-founder of the nonprofit organization. Um, I co-founded the organization alongside my cousin. His name is Taj Malik Chandler, but he is an up and coming. Well, he's not up and coming anymore. He's a hip hop artist from Chicago area, and also one of the founding members of the hip hop collective Pivot Gang.
Nice. So you say up and coming artists is that one of the focus of your not for profit on artists?
Yes, so our organization actually started, unfortunately, due to the death of my son. He was a part of the same hip hop collective and also a co-founder of the Pivot Gang. That is a West Side. They call their stuff a West Side boy band. A bunch of Phillies. They're pretty much really smart, like overly smart kids. My cousin Saba graduated 2 years early. They both had my son, his name is Walter. His stage name was John Walt, so that's why we call the organization John Walt Foundation.
Mhm.
Uh, Very prevalent in the arts community. And the two of them had scholarships when they were in high school and in college and things of that nature. And they hated the stuff that they had to do with their scholarships because it was academic. It's like, I'm already smart, I'm already studying, I'm already doing these things, but I like to do things in the arts. And there wasn't many nonprofit organizations or scholarships available for young people that were interested in the arts. Is one reason why we started the nonprofit. Also, just in honor of Walt.
Okay, that's a beautiful story. Out of your tragedy, you have created this foundation that is servicing young people in your area or those who are interested in the arts. So that is a beautiful story that comes out of the tragedy, unfortunately. So just give an overview. What are the age ranges and how do you apply to get assistance for being in the arts industry? And could you please elaborate on what it means to be in the arts?
Okay. The age group is between the ages of 14 and 24. And we selected that age group because that's when he really started having an interest in the arts, is around 14. And unfortunately, when we lost him, he was 24. So that's the age group that we usually, have our services for the youth. However, we have a couple of different programs. So I'll tell you about that a little bit later about the other programs that we just recently introduced. As
Mhm.
far as the scholarship applications, we put that online. All the youth have to do is just go on, apply. The application isn't anything really hard or anything that is like, prying into their personal history. It could be somebody that just really wants to be an artist, and the arts can be anything. It could be songwriter, it could be a poet, dancer, pianist, whatever art that the youth is interested in pursuing a career in. And they don't have to really want to be like an artist forever and ever, but like a lot of young people want to do something to just, express themselves or to create a narrative about the city that they grew up in, or just express something about their family life or things of that nature, and they do it through whatever paintings or dance or whatever struggles it is that they're going through, or even the happiness that they're going through, they show it through their art.
Perfect. Growing up, my art was singing, and I can find the release from all the stress and all the pain through singing or participating in choral programs. My husband's outlet was actually painting. So, and he uses it even today as a stress reliever or just something just to pass the time away to give him joy. So it is great that you're continuing to push the participants to have their art in place to avoid all these stressors and just give them happy endorphins, right?
Yeah, so the scholarship is actually $1,000 each. We provide 5 scholarships each year. Each one of the scholarships recipients receive a resource of a mentor that guides them throughout that year. They meet with them. We tell them, if you can meet with them like 4 times out the year, that would be great. But they usually meet with them more than that. The bond that they build with their mentors is just amazing. And the kids, they're all professionals in whatever area that youth is in. We had one youth that was a fashion designer, and we hooked him up with an urban designer in the Chicagoland area, and they just bonded. And this young man was able to do a lot of amazing things with his creations and how to build and market and brand. So it was more than just the arts. He gave him like the whole um, business aspect of what he can do as well as a fashion designer.
That is awesome. So how do you find the mentors? Do you need resources or do you look for specific people?
Well, the funny thing about how I selected a lot of the mentors were people that were friends of my son. So since he's so heavily known in the arts community, he has friends in fashion, friends that are filmmakers, just all the different things that the youth had. So they're like, okay, whatever it is, mom, we got you. And even with that being said, I can, we will put it out there like if we need mentors, and we'll just have people to put in the application. We'll review them, see if they're a good fit, and do the background checks and all those things of that nature. But typically, the ones that we use for the first 2 cohorts have been people that just are really down with the John Walt Foundation and want to make sure that young people didn't have the same barriers that they had to go through to build their career.
Absolutely. That's great, great information. So, in addition to servicing the youth and arts, fashion, dance, and etc., you also have been featured in an online magazine, complex.com, for an organization to support, and it mentions about food donations that you give.
Yes. Um, so this summer, and it wasn't really this summer. It was. I want to say what happened with the unfortunate death of George Floyd, and the city of Chicago was in the unrest. We had so much looting, we had the protests, and during that time, Mayor Lightfoot had shut down the food distributions that she had for the CPS kids. And so a lot of the young people that I work with, like all of the pretty much all of the volunteers that I work with, and all of the young people that are on my board, and our staff, they were really passionate about the fact that these young people that are school age can't go to school and pick up their meals, or their parents can't go pick up their meals because of what was going on in the city. So we all started doing food distribution. So with all the stores being looted, and people didn't have access to essential items like Pampers and milk, and um, just toiletries and things of that nature, we just put it out there one day. It was like, hey, we're gonna do a food giveaway on Saturday, and this was like Thursday, and we decided to do it on Saturday, and we asked for donations. And so we started getting donations in right away. We put the flyer up at 7 o'clock, and donations started popping in, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then so it was like $2,000 before I went to sleep, and this is at 7 o'clock. I went to bed like 9, and so the next day I got up, and we're like at 6. I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we can get a lot of stuff for people. And before the day was out on Friday night, we had like 12,000. I'm like, oh, we can do a whole lot. So now I get to Saturday, and this is the day of the event. I went shopping on Friday, bought all these items. People were donating, bringing items to us. We ended up with like almost $40,000. So I was like, okay, now we have to do this more than one time, because we cannot feed all these people this particular day. We get to the park. I only purchased probably like $2,000, $2,500 worth of stuff, and I was on my way back to the store, and the kids was like, "Ma, you can't go back to the store," and I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta go get more stuff." Did you look at the park and see what you had? And I'm like, "No." We were in Columbus Park. People were donating all kind of essential items and food and everything. We had to stop what we were doing and break it up into three separate sections of the exact same thing. We had so much food. So with donations, I can probably estimate maybe like $15,000 worth of things were donated in just actual items that we were able to get out to the community. So we named this initiative Feed the West Side.
Mhm.
And we, just basically fed the West Side. Um, Again, food, essential items. We had PPE for um, anyone that needed. And I think the first one was the one that we fed the most people, and it was directly behind the fact that all of the stores had been pretty much looted and things weren't there. We had like between 600 to 700 people that we were able to feed that day, and they came out in droves to get those things. But the each month we did one behind it. So from June all the way through August, we did one each month, and we did about 500 bags of food, and we did 2 bags for each family. So one bag would be full of grocery items for breakfast. The other bag will be full of grocery items for dinner, like items. And if they had children that needed, Pampers and milk and things, they can just go over there and select those items as well.
That is awesome. Not only are you feeding the dreams of the artists, but you're also feeding the families and supplying them with some of the essential needs that they have. That is awesome. And I commend you for that and the foundation.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, how can we support you?
So, with the John Walt Foundation, we really need as much support as possible on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we also have a YouTube channel. The more people that follow us and are able to spread the word about the things that we're able to do, the more we're able to remote, right?
Mhm.
The more we're able to help others. If we have more people that know we're out here and just doing these things to help support the youth, um, the better. We also take donations on our website, which is www.johnwaltfoundation. Our Facebook is Facebook at John Walt Foundation. We have, I have to look at it, Instagram and Twitter at John Walt FND. So those are our social media handles. Each year we do a annual, excuse me, annual fundraiser, which is called John Walt Day. It's a benefit concert that we do in order to get the funds for what we do. We've never received any grants. We have not received any like major cash donations from like one particular source. Most of the money that we get is from our annual benefit concert. The very first one we did, well, we started the organization in 2017, and that was like immediately after the death of my son. He passed away not too long ago, February 8th of 2017. We started working on the organization, and I guess that was our kind of like our healing process, was to just start working immediately on this. By August of 2017, we had announced that we have the organization and that we will be doing our first benefit concert at the House of Blues. And each year we've sold out the concert and made so much money that we're able to take care of the young people that we provide the scholarships for. And also we do free arts-based workshops. So the same benefits that our scholarship recipients receive for the workshop, any kid that would like to come to our workshops, they're open, they're free. We feed them. We make sure that they have, like if they need bus fare or things of that nature, we provide that stuff as well. But with COVID, we did it virtually last year. So we partnered up with the Chicago Public Library, and we offered songwriting workshop, a dance workshop, music 101, which music production 101, DJ 101, and poetry workshops. So we've been doing a lot. Oh, and I forgot graphic design. So we have one of
Oh,
our
nice.
one of our scholarship recipients from the first cohort. She is an artist and she's going to school for graphic design. And we had her to do a graphic design workshop. So that was something that she really loved to do. She was one of our students that we worked with a whole lot. And not that we didn't work with all of them a whole lot, but she had a lot of ideas and a lot of things that she wanted to do. She wants to she wants to create art galleries, and so that was one of the things that we did with her and the funding that she received. She did three art galleries, which were named Braided. That was her signature, and she branded that. And she also started an online magazine behind it.
Nice. That great to hear of the success stories. It's good to hear of the services, but then also that the services help to launch some careers or some great projects from the participants. So that is some great information. Good for her. So, any upcoming events that we want to share?
Right now, we're just working on getting ready for the summer. Our scholarship applications will open up in May. In June, we'll start with our workshops. We try to do the workshops in June because we don't want to interfere with, young people in their school, and they may have like some other activities after school that they would do, even if it's virtual. So we'll start up and the name of our workshop series is Work Like Walt. So the Work Like Walt workshop series is what we would do in partnership with the Chicago Public Libraries. And it also is just something that we do on our own as well. Um, Also, we are getting prepared for the summer to break. We don't have a actual location. So when we do our food drives and things of that nature, we usually utilizes the park districts. Um, the first one we used was Columbus Park. They allowed us to go there and set up. And the second two we did at La Folly Park, which is on Laramie and in between I think it's like Chicago, not Chicago, Augusta, no, Division and North Avenue. So they allowed us to utilize the park district to set up and do those things. So we definitely have a need for volunteers. On our website, we have a link that you can click and just put in your information for how you would like to volunteer, where would you see yourself best fit, and we just kind of look through those and reach out to people and see if they would be available to help us on whatever particular day that we're doing the donation drop off days, and also the days of the actual events.
Great. Thank you for that information. And I've seen you work in the West Side community and throughout Chicago, and you all do fantastic work. Definitely something that's needed and a beacon of light in some of the darkest times in our lives. So thank you so much for that. Again, we can reach you at johnwaltfoundation.org or on the various social media platforms with John Walt Foundation featured. Michelle, it was a pleasure to have you here, and I wish you all the best and much success in the coming events and in the lives that you're touching.
Thank you so much. And I would just want to thank you guys for continuing to uplift nonprofit organizations or charitable organizations, because, not only do we help support people, we love when people support us as well.
Absolutely.